During the fall, like many classes before them, the Woodward Oklahoma class of 1992 recently met for their 30th class reunion. And like most small-town reunions, there was a homecoming parade. Friends met for lunch and attended the local high school football game on Friday night. Old friends caught up and reminisced about stories from the past. The class of 92 also met at a local lodge to enjoy food and stories and one other item, a time capsule. A time capsule that everyone had forgotten about, really. It was a dusty Rubbermaid container that was supposed to be opened in 2012 during their 20th reunion, but it was apparently lost and recently found. And here it was. We expected the standard stuff, magazines, music, pictures, and other heirlooms from 92. It was all those items and more. The capsule also contained 3 videotapes. Tapes of what? Well, it seemed no one really knew or remembered what was on the tapes. We didn't have a VCR handy to view them because, well, we weren't expecting them. But I knew what was on the tapes because I'd shot much of the footage 31 years earlier. It was made during a high school event that we called Future Day, and it was actually recorded at the end of our junior year on May 16th, 1991. And what was the footage? Well, I remember it as driving around town showing what the town looked like that day. It was also on-the-spot interviews, asking students, what would they be doing in 20 years? Would they be married? Would they have kids? What kind of job would they have? So I headed home with the tapes after the reunion, and I was going to convert them to a digital format, and after I finished, I thought, I should do these interviews again. The same people 31 years later. Would they be willing to interview again? Did their predictions come true? What was it like living in a small town and being a kid in that video? Well, let's see if we can find out.
Hey, Melanie, thanks for joining us today. We have some old footage, and we're going to review it a little bit. I think it's just 31 years old, and we have some predictions from you. So let's just jump into the footage because we have a lot to go over, and we'll be right back. So here we go.
Wrong answer. Next.
I'm going to be a doctor.
You're going to be
Very rich. I'm going to be in California.
How many kids you have? Kids?
5. Can I tell them my...
Okay, a lot to go over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go for the people who didn't hear it real well, because you were talking kind of low on the last one. I'll make sure that we know what it was. You said you're going to be a doctor. You're not going to be rich. You're going to be very rich. So
Very.
make sure that you specify that. Live in California and have 5 kids. So
5.
Go ahead and, yes. So go ahead and tell us what came true and what didn't.
Well, absolutely none of that is true. I don't know where the 5 children came from because I was just going to be happy with one. So that's some wild dreams. And the doctor, yeah, that would have been great. But I ended up just going to college and kind of gravitated over to the athletic training department and kind of went down that path in life, and no regrets there. But certainly nothing in the medical field as far as that's concerned.
So do you think you were just making up the 5 kids and doctor?
I
You
do.
think you were just kind of spare and you were just like saying whatever came to your mind?
Yeah, I never
Okay.
was one of those. I want to be a mom. I mean, kids are great, but I was just never one of those. So not true. Not
So
true.
did you make it to California? So you're in California right now, right?
No, I've lived in Oklahoma my entire life. I've traveled a lot. I just made it over to the east side of the state. That is the best I've done.
Okay,
So
nothing there. Now, at least maybe we can get the last one because you're getting nothing so far. It's
I
been
know.
horrible predictions. Now, at least you're very rich, right?
Oh, well, it depends on what you define as rich. I have great friends and a great husband and a great family. But as far as monetary, no. Middle class
man.
America.
No, I was hoping we'd run to at least one billionaire in here, but we
Yeah,
haven't so
well, if that
far.
were the case, then we would have had a huge reunion that was put on, and maybe a cruise ship kind of thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I would love to do that for everybody. So if it happens in the next 10 years, hold out, guys.
Perfect. Well, let's talk a little bit about the footage in general. So did you remember interviewing or remember that time at all?
No, I do not remember doing that video, and Lord knows where my head is, but I will just add in what I know is because I don't know, you guys know, yes, we've all aged. I had jaw surgery right out of high school, so it completely changed my look. But I'm looking at me and oh my gosh, my late son looked just like me. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know if any of you guys have seen pictures of him, but I'm like, oh my God, that's him. I'm like, so that was really touching for me. But to see me and Michelle together, Lord, there's no telling what will come out of my mouth. I was a good call then.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, he definitely does, right? Especially in that time, he looks a lot like you. Definitely seen pictures of him. He absolutely does. Now, tell me a little bit about, you watched it, you kind of tell me a little bit about that girl in that time, that person in that time and place. Is there any insight you have about that person?
Yeah, she was lost to no fault of her own, and not to blame anybody in her environment, but the brain just wasn't developed. Can I just say that?
Sure, yeah, you can say that. No.
I mean, granted, that's true for all of us, but I was clueless, and I thought I was all grown up and had life figured out. I'm sure we all were there. I had my head up somebody's ass. I'm just going to say that. And again, it led me down the path that I am now. So I have no regrets, but I look back and went, man, if I could have done things a little different, I would have focused on just having fun in school, maybe focused down on those academics a little bit better, and just getting into college and career and, doing things in order. But instead, I had my head up somebody's ass. And I think you all know who I dated all through high school. And if I don't regret it. He's a great guy. It led me where I'm at. I got a wonderful child out of it. But I didn't finish my college degree, and I'm not disappointed. I was for the longest time. So low self-esteem. But I'm also learned that I'm successful at what I do without a degree, but I have that education and I'm okay with that. But that girl in that video really had super low self-esteem. Other than basketball probably kept her going. And the girls on the team kept her going. And maybe that's why I took a path with the fitness and the wellness, because those endorphins and adrenaline and all that good stuff that comes with athletics, that's mental health is at its largest there. So yeah, that's about all I have to say to her. I would tell her, hey, get your head out of his ass and hang out with your friends. Go have more fun with Michelle, and do the things that everybody else is doing that's fun. And so that's it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are that, right? I think it's people were so hyper. I even think kids during that time, I think back, people tried to have kids, hey, figure it out. Where are you going to go and what's your path and what's going to be your career? And, you would do these tests in school the way they go, well, take this test. Well, you'd probably be good at that. And they try to
test.
They try to set you on a path of what you're doing when really, maybe the 20s is just figuring out what the hell you want to do, right? Like, maybe that's what you should be doing.
For me.
Trying a bunch of stuff, right? Trying a bunch of stuff and seeing what you really like instead of like, well, here, I'm a sophomore. Maybe I should go ahead and pick what I want to do the rest of my life, right? That's kind of what they did.
I was,
Yeah, right?
I loved college, and I loved high school. I mean, but honestly, I don't know about you, Kenny, but my memories of high school is just playing basketball. I don't remember anything in the classroom. So, and I own it. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Perfect. I love it. I love the honesty and what you're doing. I think that's kind of the fun part of some of these interviews is people just going, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, I was lost. Oh, that person.
Day to day, right?
Yeah. And I think that makes it really relatable, right? I think a lot of things, when people have kids and they have other things, it seems the world seems so big to kids at that time. I have to have it figured out and know where I'm going, blah, blah. And to look back at people 30 years later and every one of them going, I don't know what I was doing.
I'm glad to hear that.
Anything. I think that's a really cool kind of honest, healthy thing for other people to look at, and other kids, just other people in general to look at. I think it's really cool.
Sure.
Now, as we're kind of moving forward here, a couple of things that I ask people is, what are you excited about for the future? Great. So as we wrap up, is there anything else you want to say, or you kind of talked about what advice you would give yourself and other things, but anything you want to comment on or say before we wrap up and move forward?
I do. I sincerely apologize that I could not make it to the reunion. I love that, Kenny, I love that you've organized this and that others have taken the initiative, Brandy and Janelle, to put on what looked like an amazing reunion. And I hated to miss. And once my family learned that, I stayed back because of them. So my dad just had bypass surgery and I just felt needed here. and they felt horrible that I skipped all that, to help them out. So I hope to be at the next gathering, whether it be, God, do we wait another 10 years or do we try to get together? I know you're out of town and several are. I can make it to Woodward in about 3.5 hours. So I missed everybody, and I would love to reconnect with everybody. And I love that we have a group page that we can do that. So just know that I am watching and listening, and I'm there with you guys in spirit during the reunion. So I just regret that I didn't get to see everybody and give them hugs and drink beer with them and all that fun stuff you guys did. That's it.
Perfect. We appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time and talking to us. And we will, hopefully it won't be another 10. We'll do it quicker than that and get everybody together. But I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you.
Bye, everybody. Good to see you. Bye.
Hey, Charla, how you doing? Good to see you.
Doing great. Hi. I'm doing great.
Well, we have some old footage of you, an interview that you did 31 years ago, predicting the future and where your life will be. So we're going to take a pause just for a second and look at the footage, and then we'll come back and you can just tell us a little bit about the footage. Okay, you ready? Okay, here's the footage.
Oh, Charla Stevenson. And in 20 years from now, I think I'll be a porno queen. I'll have my own whorehouse down the street, and I'll be modeling, so in spare time I'll have to do my porno thing. And probably 20 years from now, the big problem will be, well, since I'm not 20 years from now, I don't know. And I don't have anything else to say. Are you going to stop it or what?
So how's the modeling career?
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll say with that one.
Okay, let me review these real quick, okay? So porno queen, which is definitely different from just being in porno. I think queen means you were the top of the realm.
That's right. I needed to be a star. That's right.
In a whorehouse, you own a whorehouse. Down the street, did you say down the street?
Yep, just down the street from the school, just close.
Yeah. I didn't.
Within walking distance.
Well, it's different than just owning one anywhere. Dude, it's just down the street, and then some modeling. So go ahead and tell us about your predictions a little bit.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you about the legal activity stuff because I don't want anyone getting me sent to prison or anything. My stable is full. I got the whorehouse down the street. Everything I said would happen, it did happen. It is under my alias, though, and her name is Starla, so that's not me. We're two different people. I'm a good girl. I'm a social worker. I'm a good girl now.
Oh, perfect. So you were just messing around. So tell us a little bit, obviously, some fun there, some funny stuff. Tell us a little bit. Now, let me think now, which I think is really funny about this video. So this was at the end of junior year, and you had been in Miss Woodward. You got Miss Congeniality, right?
Yeah, I'm a nice person. I'm a nice girl.
Yeah, you got Miss Congeniality right before this, and then we put you in there. I can't believe nobody was. Their teachers were going through. Yeah, we better throw that one out.
Remember that when I went into the little question room there. We went into that office there, and you were like, I was very specific. Who's going to see this? So I knew that I could totally show out and be as goofy and as crazy as I wanted to. I was mostly worried that you were going to show my mom or something, and I was going to be grounded. But I went out because I knew nobody was going to know.
So that is interesting, but so you're one of the only people who have or remembered even any of it. So or remembered going in there and doing it. That was kind of everybody I've asked to go. I don't remember. I don't know. But you said, yeah. When I talked to you, said, I think I know what I said.
I did. I knew it.
Something. Yeah. So you had a specific memory of that. Tell me a little bit about having fun, cracking up, and so you were trying to get past the censors, but tell me a little bit about that person in that time and place, who you were, and when looking at the footage, make you think of anything or have any memories of who you were at that time?
I've always been really loud, and I'm always looking for fun. I love to make people laugh. I want to laugh. So I know that back then, especially when I was a teenager, before my spirit ever got broken too bad, I was always constantly joking and just trying to have fun. And I knew exactly what I said because, I was really hamming it up, being as funny as I could be. So I remembered that. And it dawned on me as soon as I saw that tape. I was like, holy mackerel, I know exactly what that is. But before that, I totally forgot about it. And then when we talked, I was like, that was when I said I was basically going to be a madam. I was going to be a madam, a brothel owner. And I was like, yeah, I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm not.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of. Not at all. Not at all. That's awesome. So if you could go back, a few questions I ask most people is, if you could go back and say something to that girl, is there anything that you would go back or any advice that you would give to her at that time in her life?
It's really funny because I'm still that same girl. I'm still rowdy and loud, and I say whatever I think, and I'm always trying to get a laugh, and I'm looking for a good time always. I just happen to have a professional job. Outside of that, though, I'm still that same rowdy girl. I still identify as
Awesome.
her. It's very strange. I even showed that. I showed my son me as 16, and he was just totally like, that's you. It's like, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. That's who I was. Because, he thinks I'm a stick in the mud. I'm a mom. So, yeah, he got a good laugh out of that, too. It was really hilarious to see me at 16.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Awesome. It was great footage. I knew I had to get you because it was one of the funniest ones of all of them to play. And so I had to go ahead and wrangle you in and find you. I had to do the follow-up interview.
Just crazy as possible. You guys are lucky I didn't put a pimp hat on, because I really thought about coming in here and acting like, maybe this is my business. You don't know what I do.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should. You should have just said, "Well, hold on, let me give you the tour," and then just walked us through the brothel would have been even better. So, but I don't need to encourage you.
That sounds like a trip to jail.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything as we wrap up here? It's been fun, and looking back at it, we had a reunion and we kind of all came together, and after 30 years, you got to see people and do stuff. Any last thoughts or comments as we wrap up here and go on and move forward?
After I graduated, I moved and I never ever came back. Work had brought me through just a couple times, but I'd never ever visited or seen anybody since. It was so nice to see everybody, all the beautiful faces, all the laughing and the hugs. I enjoyed it so much. I hope I've been seeing everyone posting that we'll be doing it more often, maybe every 5 years. I look forward to it. There's so many of those faces that I want to see. I want to see us all grow old. I want to hear where your kids are and what's going on with your grandkids. I want to know now. I didn't know I wanted to know, but I do. And so I do hope that we stay connected, and I hope that we reach out every 5 years. And Kenny, it's awesome that you've put this together like this. And it kind of is a goofy laugh and all, but it's definitely a memory I'm going to cherish big time. I appreciate you doing the works.
Awesome. Well, it's all been fun, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to review it with us and talk with us about it. But I think that's it. If you don't have anything else, I hate to, sorry. There's a couple more questions that I usually ask, and then we'll wrap up. What are you excited about for the future?
That's one of the good things that I can say about Woodward is I had a tough upbringing. It was hard for me to fit in a lot of places. And I was only in Woodward for less than 2 years, but the memories I have there are priceless for me. I never had any connection in schools like I did there, and I'm very appreciative. I hope that my son feels like I feel about his school. I hope he feels that way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. That's really great. Anyway, we'll wrap up, and I'll let you get back to where you're going. Thanks for stopping in your car and doing the interview. I know we're trying to track you down, but I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye. Talk to you later.
Woman?
What will you be doing in 20 years? Taking care of his baby. All 10 or 12 of them?
20 years.
Good. You want to see our restaurant? I want to see our
Show me restaurant, Ronald.
restaurant of the future. The restaurant of the future. The Hydrodome. Is that what it's called? That's it. Good picture of all. It's not finished yet.